So, are we just meant to assume that like Margot has been eating burger and fries every day for the past month?
Apparently, because so has Sergey.
And between this and Loki season 2, I don't know which is the bigger propaganda for McDonald's. I'm just like
They've been spending their
the
hard-earned
product placement
coins.
is incredible.
They've been spending
Um,
their coin to maintain brand visibility.
okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And this is Brazil. That was like, I'm sorry I had to do that, but that was like for like the two people that watch For All Mankind and the Fast and Furious franchise.
I'm
I just,
sorry. We love the Brazilians. When they said that, I was like, my people.
so if you're one of, I guess four people because it's two people plus Angel and I. Yeah. Shout out Dom Toretto and the family.
Also, shout out to my
Today,
friend Trill, who is the fifth person who watches the show. You're a real one.
you know what? I knew I could see the numbers went from 3 to 5, and I was like, "Who is that person?" So it makes sense. Shout out him. Yeah. Today we're making plans and carrying out investigations as we discuss the penultimate episode of For All Mankind season 4. And joining me once again, I'm not quite sure how well she'll buckle under interrogation, but I'd love to have her. It's Angel. Angel, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. The unbeatable is here once again. Hi, guys.
I probably just shot it twice in the intro. My neighbors are like, "What the fuck is
Period.
going
And
on?"
to they're like, what's wrong with this boy? Is he talking to himself?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Why is he just shouting? Jesus Christ. Anyway, how
but
are you
yeah, we back. We better.
as we
I'm
approach the
good. I'm
end?
very excited. This episode fed me well. Lots to get into. So
Yeah,
yeah,
For All Mankind always knows how to like race towards the finale, race
the
towards the end
finish line.
of the
Yep,
season. Yeah.
they're gonna sprint to the end for
Okay.
sure.
So just quickly, guys, please rate and review if you're listening on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all of that stuff. Please rate and review. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I guess like and subscribe. I never know how to say those words out, but like, yeah, please like and subscribe. So, For All Mankind, season 4, episode 8, titled Brazil, written by David Weddle, Bradley Thompson, and Kate Burns, and directed by Sergio Mimica Gazan. So, I'm gonna go like last week, beat by beat, but I guess before then, just what are your overall, you still saluted? What are your overall thoughts on the
I'm
episode?
still
Obviously, I guess,
saluting my people in Brazil. My overall thoughts of this episode, um, if I had to pick a phrase to describe it, it would be they are so fucked. Who this they is in question, we'll find out,
I was
but
gonna
they
ask.
fucked.
Fair enough.
How about you?
Um,
What was this episode giving for you? Was it good? Was it entertaining? Was it everything you
oh,
needed and
yeah,
more?
I mean, I think like there are some things I'm like, oh, we're still doing that. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, no, it's definitely like there are plans being made, there are plans being laid, and like I'm really excited for like where they want to end this season. So we start off at Ghost Stops, where we find out that it's been a month, and Sam hasn't been able to switch out the discriminator boxes. Which I guess answered our question from last week where we were wondering was it going to be like a month journey or a day journey and everything. We also see that Happy Valley and Ranger have been doing regular tests, which I guess means a good thing. Like Sam hasn't changed the boxes.
Yeah.
Something I'm confused about because obviously, spoiler alert, you've watched this episode, but like she does manage to switch out the boxes, and they said they want to do one more test. So I guess maybe Ghost Stops will have to like intercept the test. Anyway, I guess we'll see it next episode.
Well, yeah, basically now, I mean, what I'm understanding is that now that they've switched out the boxes, right? Ghost ops and real ops can both speak to that discriminator. So
Yeah.
it won't kick either of them out. So when regular ops runs their test, it'll be fine as well. When ghost ops runs their test,
Oh, okay. So I
it'll be
thought it
fine
was
as
only
well.
going to accept Ghost Ops, but okay,
Well,
that makes
that
sense.
might be what they're trying to do, but I don't see how they can accomplish that realistically because no way real ops is not going to keep testing the discriminator. Like if they
Yeah,
test it
because they
and they
have
figure
one
out
more.
they've been kicked out exactly,
Yeah,
which is true. They might just be doing it might just be ghost ops only because like you said they have one more
they have one more
test to
test.
do, yeah, one more
Yeah,
chance to do the burn. So it's like I feel like this is their last test before the burn. So if they figure out that this in this test they are kicked out. Obviously, the burn's not going to go ahead, so they
Mm-hmm.
must both have access. Like they just
Yeah.
must both have
But then if they
access.
both have access, unless maybe Ghost Ops can shut out real ops.
Yes, maybe Ghost Us has like primary control, like admin control,
Mm,
but they both have rights. So let's say there's
yeah.
places Ghost Ops can go, real ops can go in the discriminator, or it
Yeah.
overrides the real ops command,
I
basically.
guess we'll see next week. Because I'm just like, on one hand, if they both have access, then what's stopping real ops from like just, is it who goes
Exactly,
in
just be
first,
like
like for the
stopping the
20
burn.
minute burn? Yeah.
I think
Anyway.
the another thing that stops them is time, because you know the
But
time lag between
uh
them and NASA, like because NASA is one that's going to send the burn command, and I guess Dev's team is going to send their own too. So
yeah.
we'll
And
see what
it's going
happens.
from NASA to Happy Valley to
Exactly,
Ranger,
versus
but it's just
Happy
going
Valley
from
to
Ghost
Ranger.
Ops to Ranger. Fair enough, yeah.
Exactly.
I guess hopefully we'll find out next week. Hopefully something is
Exactly. We might
explained.
completely be wrong because apparently last week we were theorizing quite nonsense. Because look at the way Sam ended up with completing this so
Yeah, I was gonna
uncomplicated,
say,
so chill. Like,
so I was gonna say, like, if you remember what I said last week, like, so this was more on the like smart side than fun side, but at least like
yeah,
it made
exactly.
sense. Like she let
Yeah.
out a drop of, I'm using like teardrops or
Of
something,
water, moisture,
water,
who
yeah,
knows?
and then that just fried the entire thing, which I guess makes sense. I mean, it's like it was cool seeing it
Yeah.
float.
Yeah, I was
Like
like,
just
yay, science. This
you
is like,
forget exactly, like, yeah, science bitch. Like you just forget like, oh yeah, they're actually like in
they're
space and
actually in
everything.
space. Yeah.
And then
So
Sam
that's a nice
volunteers to get
touch.
the spare one, and then she switches it out.
With the
I
one
don't.
that they want to use, which is so
Yeah,
smart because I don't think that's something we thought of last week that they'd have a spare discriminator. Like my mindset,
mm-hmm.
at least for me, was on they'd have to fix it, and I was like, ah, if they're fixing it, then how's she going to do it? But it makes sense they'd have
It
backups.
makes
Like
sense. Yeah,
that's
yeah. Obviously, though. Yeah,
redundancy is
yeah. You're
normal.
right. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to see. Like I said, in the end, the plan was a bit not straightforward, but like it made sense. Like
Yeah.
how she did it. Yeah, I just feel like we're not obviously we're not done with that, and like
Mm-mm.
it would be so
I mean,
impossible for
by the
them
end of
to.
the episode, we see that it's not going to be as easy as they think.
Yeah, yeah, for various reasons, which I guess we'll get to. But like, yeah, I think
Oof.
we'll get back to the other discriminator box in a second, or rather next week. Um, Back on Happy Valley, Kelly is showing Dev the results from her expedition, but Dev doesn't seem that interested. And he quickly fucks off to go and play heist with Ed. It's funny. This was funny to me because I've always felt like Dev is not interested in this thing. In
Dev
this,
does
in
not
this
give a fuck at all. He don't care one bit. This man was talking. He was like, pew, 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 with Alex. Pew.
it's almost like giving like a child like a steering wheel and telling them that they're driving as well. Part of me feels bad for Kelly,
Literally.
but I'm just like,
Yeah. But I'm
yeah,
like, girl, at least he's throwing money at you. Just keep going.
yeah. And he's not stopping you from doing what you want to do. So
Exactly. Like he doesn't
it
care,
could
but
be
he
much
doesn't
worse.
also not care. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He's not like this is irrelevant. He's like, well, just do what you do. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, all of it will help us stay on Mars. So
yeah. So yeah, we
we'll
see
see
that,
that.
and then Dev and Kelly have a little bit of heart to heart. But anyway, Miles and Ed go to Lee to ask for North Korean cameras so they can see like
God
what's
bless
going on
North Korea.
and other
Mm.
real ops come. And then Lee does the realistic thing. Because he asks Miles how far with his
Which
little
is
smuggle
something I
operation.
love about this show. They don't forget anything. Because we're talking about it last week. We're like, when are they going to bring back this nigga, his wife?
Yeah. But also, everybody just keeps on acting like this is a normal request. And now I'm beginning to question my own sanity. Why is everybody acting like this is a normal thing? Like, Ed
You
doesn't
know
even
what?
react. Just like, what's going on here?
They're thinking from the context of they're on this base, they just want their family with them. And then you add that to the context of North Korea not being safe. It's like, yeah, we understand why you want us to smuggle your wife here. Like, we understand why you want her to be here. Like, it's literally kidnapping, but like, we get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is an insane request, however we slice it. Like, she could get a flight. Like, the rest of the niggas, she could get a flight. Like, I don't know why we have to smuggle her out. Like,
Well,
what
she
the
can get a
fuck?
flight to Mars. And it's North Korea. I don't think you can get a flight out of North Korea.
You definitely can't. Like,
I
will they
think the
even let
show
her
is
leave
telling
North
us that
Korea?
even with all the advancements, North Korea is still North Korea. Like,
Exactly.
they're still like,
Which is
yeah, I don't
why it
know.
has to be a kidnapping, smuggling situation and not a daylight, let's go to the airport and catch our flight type of
Yeah, well,
situation.
like, anyway, I guess one way or another, this storyline has to end next episode, so we'll
Exactly.
figure it.
uh,
Back on Earth, actually, no, she mentioned that Lee agrees to help them, and then Dev's 9
yeah.
becomes.
After
Dev's
Ed
10.
speaks reason into him, he's like, look,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this man's that you want your wife to come to, the man's is not here, she can't come anywhere. So using Nigerian
Yeah.
reasoning for him. And they ate it up.
Yeah, and then they become Dev's 10. Back on Earth, Eli Hobson mentions that President Al Gore will not be happy with the 2 year predicted timeline, which is funny because we know what
Because
Dev
baby,
and
it's
Ed are
about to be
trying to do.
10.
So yeah. Um and then Margot asks the leader to send their work to Sergey for a double check, which is our first indication that Sergey has been here for a month and
Mm-hmm.
his poor
And
wife thinks he's
Alida
probably
has
dead in a
been.
ditch.
Let's talk about that, okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I know this is skipping a bit, but I'm not going to talk about what happened. But that scene of Sergey, in fact, not let me never say the scene of Sergey and Margot eating the same meal. The scene of Sergey reaching across and holding Margot's hand, and I was just thinking,
Mhm.
your wife is at home, in bed, wondering where you are and
She's not
what
his one
pulled
true
you.
love. I don't know what to say. Like she
Jesus. This
she's gonna
man
have to
left
hold.
and he didn't even go back home. He just drove off. We don't know where he's been. He's clearly a
Isn't
hotel.
it isn't it funny? Okay, not funny, but I don't know what the word is. But like he keeps connecting with Margot when he's married.
Different people now, not the same wife he had
Yeah,
before, mind
yeah,
you.
not the same,
A new
different
wife.
marriages.
New wife. Same Margot.
Uh, yeah. So by the way, Aleda insists that they have to do this in person, and she suggests that they use her house, and we kind of get the impression that like Margot and Aleda are on better terms now.
They are so back. They are
Yeah,
so
I don't know if
back.
they're back
They're
yet, but they're
back.
they're on
They're
their way
back.
to being back.
He
I don't know if
brought
they're
her
that.
into her home. They back. She let her
Yeah,
give her son a candy. They back. They back.
that's
They
that's
back.
true.
They back. They back. Once she said that, like when they were having that discussion, and she's like, "Oh, I'm done with passing these things," but she's like, "No, we need to talk." And she's like, "Okay, but it has to be at my house." She's like, "Face at my house." I was like, "A leader." I was like, "Oh, like you missed her, huh? You just yeah. Oh, it's done." Like she can say, "Yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm angry," but like that's her best friend.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, yes, probably she is probably Aleda's best
Let's be
friend.
real, that's probably her best friend. Other than her
Yeah.
husband, it's probably Margot.
She's probably had a better relationship with Margaret than with her husband, to be fair.
Oh, 100%.
Remember, they were separated for that
100%.
for a while. Um, in at Happy Valley, in the North
Mm.
Korean section, one of Lee's supervising officers finds the video cleaning equipment from Ghost Ops and takes it to Daniel, accusing the US of espionage. He insists that they investigate, and then he mentions Miles because he says
Thank
Miles is the
fuck
only
up for
person that has
Miles.
been in their section.
You know, we were saying it that he's dying. I guess we know who kills him. Mm.
Do we
Mm-mm-mm.
even know who kills him?
Well, we don't know if
Because
we don't know if that's what's going. He's going to be the one who do it, but this is what's going to lead to his death for sure.
yeah, I mean, what if
For
he doesn't
sure.
die? What if he just ends up spending like 30 years in prison?
That's the same as death for Miles because as long as he's not
True.
going home to go and eat his nest egg with his family, he has failed.
Yeah.
He has failed.
Um, him mentioning Miles Dale piques Danielle's interest, and she runs the
Ah, she
NASA
is
serial
lying.
number up the chain.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, the guy, because as we know, North Koreans are famously not chill and not patient. He's unhappy with her response, so he decides to do his own investigation.
Anal
Um,
ass motherfucker. This man took this personally. Like it
yeah,
really did not have to be this deep.
I mean, it's North Korea. He was like
I guess
espionage,
true. He's
okay?
like espionage, fair enough. And Miles, I ain't trust that man. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
He came
Mm.
into our pod. Things ain't been right since. Dedicated.
That Danielle sends a vid mail to Eli explaining like kind of the things. Oh, actually, no. Before that, before all of that, she sends a vid mail to her son, and we get our first our first instance of, for me, I was going to call this episode like episode 9, making plans, because first
Yep.
instance of plan making, and I was like,
Mhm.
she
That
says
Danielle is
that
dead.
she says her son is expecting his first child, and in 3 months, and that in 3 months
They
both
give us
her
a
and Goldilocks.
timeline. They give us a timeline, babes. I was like, I literally, when she said, I put my hand on my head. I said, Modaro.
She said
Hey.
both, so both Goldilocks, said both Goldilocks and her would be on their way back to Earth in 3 months, and I was like, And then she talks about her regret of not seeing. I don't know. Is the
First
right word
set.
regret here?
I would say it's regret because hindsight is 2020. In those
But she
times, she
wasn't. She
really
didn't know him. Like she married his father after he was
that's
born.
true. That's
I don't
true.
know. If,
That's really
like
the
I was thinking,
truth.
I was like, is the regret the right word to use in that sentence?
I would
Um.
say she maybe she regrets not being able to, not that she regrets that she couldn't, because she wasn't there. There's nothing she could have done
Yeah.
to have been there at those moments. But I guess what she was trying to say is that the love she feels for him, she really feels like she birthed him, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
it
100%
was not the
understood it. It
moment.
was just like a weird fixation on the word regret. But anyway, yeah, she says that she regrets not seeing his first walk, his first steps, his hearing his first words, but that she'll be there to do all of that for her granddaughter. And I was like, uh oh.
I said, oh
Um,
no, Lord, oh no,
we don't like people making plans, especially in the penultimate episode of the season.
no.
Over at Casa Rosales,
Oh
the
wait, sorry.
Brainiacs are yeah.
Before we move on, I just want to talk about how that was one of my favorite scenes from Danielle in the whole entire show. I feel like we
Oh
haven't
wow.
gotten a lot of opportunities to see her like that vulnerable. Like she's, yeah, she's emotional, she has her passion for things, but like when it comes to her family, like I haven't really seen her like be like literally when she started crying, I was like, ooh, I was like, Danielle, please, I'm gonna have to get my tissues. Can you not?
Yeah.
She goes right back and she's like, yeah, and we're gonna do all. It was just such a real
Gonna watch
moment when she's
Star
like, yeah,
Trek, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I didn't expect that, but it was so
Especially when you
human.
remember
Like
that
it was
like
lovely.
she missed his wedding because she's been on Happy Valley.
Doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So back at home, Aleda's home, the brainiacs are doing like rocket science while the normies are trying to eat dinner. And I just love that that was happening at the same table. That was just so funny.
It was killing me, bro. But something we did discover is that honestly, I think if they find out that Dev is trying to steal Mars or has stolen the asteroid, they wouldn't
Yeah.
be too mad.
Well, because I was gonna say Sergey basically says he's team dev. Like he's basically like,
Exactly.
I wish we were not
Exactly.
getting this to Earth. Um I don't know where Aleda would fall on that because she's Helios now. She is like
Yeah.
business. She's a capitalist.
But Dev
Um,
is Helios still. So
Dev is Helios, yeah.
she's kind of in
Um,
line with him.
Dev, Margot rolls back the years and does the whole grand anti routine. She does the whole candy thing. We kind of remember that she
So
has a connection
cute.
with Javier from previous seasons, and all of that is nice. All of that is cute.
Don't kill me,
Javier
please. He's like,
seems
yeah.
to remember her, which seems unlikely because he was like 4 or 5, but
Yeah,
we'll
he's
allow
very
it.
young. But Aleda
Um,
definitely does.
Yeah, and then I guess more importantly, Sergey talks about the bombshell that he dropped last episode, and he asks Margot to run away with him. He mentions that he has a friend in the Brazilian space program, and that they will be happy to take in these two very smart people. And I was like, "Uh oh!" I was like, "Another set of plans." I was like,
Like
"Uh
to
oh!"
defect to another country? Okay.
But even more so, I was like, we have these people making plans, and we know what happens when you make plans in the penultimate episode of a season. So, yeah, I'm like, okay. And then Margot is like, she will think about it.
I
Uh,
just want all of us to remember how I said last episode that I can't believe they started the episode with Sergey doing Happy Love Life and
yeah.
walking. I said, I can't believe the USSR let this man breathe. I just can't believe it.
So I
Just
guess,
hold on to
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah. So Margot is considering being a double defector, which is wild. Just so
At least the both
wild.
of them would be double defectors
There
together.
will be, yeah, there will be,
It's actually kind of romantic when you think about it. Like genuinely, like it's
yeah,
actually kind of romantic. And I really, really liked the touch they added when she was like, "Oh, when they're talking about it, she'd be like, it'd be like Apollo Soyuz days," and he was like, "Soyuz
yeah.
Apollo."
So use
And I was like,
Apollo, rolling
it
back the
brought me
years.
back to the days. I was like, "Oh,
Daniel sends a vid mail to Eli detailing all the equipment that is missing, and Eli assembles Arena and Will, and they all surmise through the CIA that like you can't sell this equipment. So like if they are being stolen, then it's probably for something nefarious. And then they decide to unleash their KGB and CIA assets, which
which I'm
again
so
always
glad they showed
always goes
us."
well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we decided like the CIA guy definitely could not be a Helios worker, so it makes sense that he
Yeah,
was an engineer,
very
and we've
valid.
seen him
Yeah,
once. I
yeah,
think he
literally,
was.
like his face. I remember seeing his face one time, but he
I
wasn't.
think
He did what he had to do. He didn't
he
stand
was in
out.
the explosion. He was in the explosion, so
Was
he
he?
could have. Yeah, yeah, because he talks about the friend that died. I think he was in the explosion because he's in the hospital when the doctor is like,
When he came in,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's funny because he could have died, and there would be no
Yeah,
CIA
that's so true.
agents.
And that'd be
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Um, Yeah, so Danielle tells the CIA and KGB agents about Miles, and they said they are going to
Mm.
quote unquote interview him, and they
Mm.
interview him the only way the CIA and KGB know how to, because
Mm.
that quickly,
With their fists.
yeah. But before we get to that, Kelly and Ed have a heart to heart. I'm sure you
Real
have
last
thoughts about
moments.
this.
Oh, baby, I wrote a whole paragraph. Let me read to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I love that Ed is being honest with Kelly and being truthful about the fact that he wants to die being someone, more importantly, making a mark. He wants to die being someone, but he wants to make a mark and he wants to die doing something. Because think about it, it's so real. I was thinking Ed didn't want to go back because of grief. Baby, his ego don't care about that. It's he himself and his star. It's like I want to die, but I want people to remember me for something, not the guy who almost landed on the moon, or the guy who almost landed first on Mars, or the guy who successfully shot his daughter through space and got her to the ranger so she could give birth to her baby. He's like, I want to be the one who did something. And I was like, that's just so real. And for him to admit that to like Kelly, like, I was like, Jesus. And when he was like, I should have never lied to you, I said, that healed me. That healed my
So
own
you're
inner
you're
child.
like fully back. You're fully back on Team Ed.
Maybe I'm not fully back on Team Ed, but if he were to die now, I would mourn.
Fair enough. It's taking you like
Yeah,
two
because he's
scenes, but
making
fair.
moves, hanging with his son, being honest with Kelly. I can't ask for more. He ain't disturbing nobody in the base no more. His ego don't check all the way back. He has bigger goals now. Being the
I mean,
captain in
he's
the
still
X-Wing.
trying to like
Like I said,
completely
he goes
undermine NASA.
beyond. It's beyond NASA. It's beyond the M7. It's life. They're thinking about life.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Thinking of expanding life for all mankind.
Literally,
Um,
he is doing what he was hired to do.
fair, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's a great conversation about his fear of death, um, and just kind of how his attitude on that has changed, which is like, yeah, an old man talking about death or his fear of death will always get to me because
Yeah.
who's not afraid of death? Um, and then he presumably tells Kelly about Dev's plan, which finally makes it Dev's 11. So
Yep.
we were
Which I
there.
definitely think Kelly would be on board with it.
11 and a half if you include
With
baby Alex. But
Alex.
let's leave it at
Yeah.
11 because that's symmetry. Ocean's 11,
Mm.
Dev's 11. We finally made it. But speaking of Dev's 11, the North Korean official continues the investigation and it
Relentless.
leads him to Ghost Stops. Where
Ah.
do you think he's dead?
No, I think Lee just knocked him out. At first, I was
Not
thinking dead, but I was like, I don't think he'd go that far right now.
killing him would be so wild.
Yeah,
Like
killing
if
him
all
would
of a sudden
be
the North Korean
exactly
person in
killing him
charge
would
is
be
no
the
longer.
worst move. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
he was kidnapped, knocked out. I don't know what they have to do to scramble his brain and make him forget. Maybe just injure him. So he's still alive, oh, but he's, maybe a vegetable. But they cannot kill that man.
Jesus.
If he dies, it's over. If he dies, they're over. They will storm that base. Don't know where the North Koreans will come from. That one that he was already hiding on Mars for how long? They didn't even know it was there. Don't know where the rest of them will pop up and say, "Hey, Happy Valley, murder our commander." Y'all all
Yeah, I
dead.
mean, you have to assume that if the CIA and Russia and KGB have one agent each, surely North Korea have one or
Can you
two
talk
of
about it?
their
But
own
the thing is, like,
agents.
how many North Koreans are on that base? Because it really seems like it's only three.
I think they're small. I think they're meant to be like I think less than 10.
Mm.
I think less than 10. But also I think they're all military personnel.
Yeah,
I think the way North Korea is like all the engineers are military
it's
personnel. So
necessary. Like
yeah.
they are equipped with all skills necessary,
Because even
basically.
the way they show respect seems very militarized.
Military, yeah,
Um yeah, because at first I too thought he was dead, but then on rewatch I was like, "Ah, I don't know, maybe he just knocked him out.
passed out.
Um
Yeah,
but again that's something it's funny because I feel like at least for majority of the next episode is I think 78 minutes. And I
okay, yeah,
have to
because
feel
this
like
one was actually quite short.
short for something. I feel like majority is gonna take place over the next 12, 24 hours. Like I'm sure towards the end
Mm.
they'll probably do a few
No,
time
it
jumps. Like
has
I'm
to
sure
because where we
it's gonna revolve
left off,
around.
it can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't skip that. We have to
we need to see
follow
the
up. Like what
asteroid
happened
heist.
immediately after that. We need to see the heist. We need to see what happened with Commander Cho. Did they just keep him to the took the asteroid or did he escape? Like so much like that. Literally, like I said, they're fucked. Like I said, you don't know who they are, but they're all fucked. Ghost Up is fucked. Miles is fucked. They fucked. Ranger is fucked.
Wait,
Everybody
is
fucked.
North Korea involved in this asteroid?
Yeah,
thing.
they're part of the M7. They're involved
Yeah,
in
but I don't
X-ray
see like I
calculations.
don't think there's
But
no
you don't
North
see them
Korean
making
person on.
any.
Is there anyone on Ranger? I don't think there's any North Korean person on Ranger.
I don't think there's one. That's why I was like, I swear there's only three North Koreans on that base. Maybe four.
Why is that?
I'll give them that.
Why are they not like they should?
Maybe four. Maybe financially for them, this isn't just as much of an investment as it would be for Russia, the US,
Yeah,
and
but if I'm
Houston.
North
They
Korea,
are
I
the
wouldn't want. So M7
anybody else
is
having more power than me.
yeah. So the M7 is obviously the US, Soviet Union, the EU, Canada, India. If we say North Korea, what's the last one? China?
It's something else. Because when we were having that conference, I was trying to look at all the names of the tables, and I realized that they were saying their space programs. It was actually by space program, not their names. I couldn't tell what countries they were from. But let's see, M7
Wait, did
for
I
all
even say
mankind.
Canada? I don't think Canada is there actually. I think Canada is
Let's see.
abstained.
Okay, why were they showing me women's jeans? These guys are not serious. Okay,
Yeah.
so in the M7 we have the United States, Soviet Union, the European Space Agency, the
hmm
Coalition of Communist Countries for Space Flight,
Okay.
Japan,
Yeah.
India, North Korea.
Yeah. So, okay. So Japan was the country I was missing.
Yeah, Japan, India, North Korea, and then CCCS and ESA.
Okay. So North Korea. So why are they not like? Why are they not
Why
on
aren't they
Ranger?
like
Why are they not?
guys? They're not like they're not even trying to enforce a single tune of energy in this.
Hmm,
Like
that's
as
a
far as
bit
they're
weird.
concerned, this actual it's just happening. It's happening to them. They're not. It's not happening with them. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that.
Yeah.
Clearly, their main focus right now is finding their spy or whoever is spying on them. So there we
Yeah.
go.
That's interesting. Anyway, so the last bit of the episode, we see Sergey walk into his motel room, and like, if we didn't know what was about to happen, we then see both him and Margot eating their burgers and fries,
Hmm. For
and
your last
Margot
meal to
is
be
smiling.
McDonald's. Hmm. A bit sad,
I mean, to be
depressing, in
fair,
fact.
He didn't eat it.
Hey,
He didn't take
that's
a
even
bite.
worse. He had inhaled the burger
Yeah. So obviously, what we're expecting was like he gets shot. Um,
in the
it's
head.
funny because I kind of, not that I saw it coming. I expected something to happen, but I was
I
still
said
shocked.
there's no way the USSR let that man live. And there he doubled down and come and see Margot.
Yeah. Like,
Once they met in that particular parking lot, I knew one of them was dying.
okay. So quick question. Just first question. We'll just agree that that's KGB.
100%.
Okay.
No matter what
Um.
neighbor's fences he ran through, no matter how far away he parked, they were already on his ass, baby.
Yeah, because I remember last time I didn't mention it last week, but I was thinking I was like, it's weird that he's using his real name, like in Florida. Like he was using
Himself just
Sergey.
coming out, just
He didn't like
people aren't even scared
change
anymore.
his name. He didn't like try to
He
have
didn't
an
change his
American
appearance. He
accent.
literally didn't do
Yeah,
anything
it
to
was a
be
bit
any
weird.
different. He, in fact, even went to a leader's house. Like, that's just insane of him, quite frankly. To do what?
So yeah, he's killed, he's shot, and it's made to look like a suicide, which obviously Margot will not believe. Um,
And it's so
but then,
devastating because, that's a moment they share together, although apart. I thought they were even on FaceTime or something, which thank God they weren't because she would have actually watched him die.
mhm.
So, as they shot him, she was just smiling, eating her
Also there's no
burger.
FaceTime in 2003, but okay,
That's fair enough. That's actually very true. I forgot about that. So, maybe Sky?
maybe
We had
Skype
it.
actually,
Yeah, maybe
maybe
Sky.
Skype. I don't Skype in
So,
2003.
yeah, we had Skype. I remember using Skype. Actually,
To be
I was young in 2003. I was like
Yeah, why
5.
would I was gonna say why would you what were you doing Skype 20 years ago? I
I
mean,
was
to be
saying
fair, no
2003.
actually no. I think there's video calls
There
in
must
this
have been
world.
something.
No,
Yeah.
in For All Mankind, where I think
Yeah,
they've
I
made
think they have
advancements to
video
video
calls.
calls.
Yeah, I think we've
Yeah,
seen them have video calls actually. Yeah, even when they were talking to Irina, it was video. Yeah, I remember seeing her
yeah.
face. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, okay. No, I meant phone video calls, but yeah, you're right about
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
the work one as well. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like a lot seems to needs to happen in the finale.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are dying, or I don't know, because it was just giving a lot of goodbyes. These episodes they don't killed Sergey. Like, what's literally anything that happened in the 78 minutes. of the next episode.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, there are quite a few. I mean, let's go back to I guess one final time to the question we've been asking all
yeah,
season. Do you think Ed Baldwin dies this season?
I'm still gonna throw my hat in, and you know what? I'm going to give my death predictions. Ed is
Okay,
dying. Danielle
okay.
is dying. Miles is dying.
So we're just,
If
you know,
I have
if
subject
Ed,
people, if I was going to say one person might survive, Danielle, I give you Ed and Milosh for sure.
so Danielle is like what 10 years younger than Ed.
Ed, yeah,
So if she survived this season and came back next season, she'll be in her
in
seventies.
Ed's position, yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
even think she would come back. It'd be giving like what happened. She's gonna
So
retire. She's done.
it'd be like we actually did not get Ellen at all this season. This is
Exactly. We
wild.
won't see her again. We'll get maybe a little recap of what the last 10 years of her life have been, and then zoop,
Yeah.
that's the end of
Okay.
Danielle, which makes sense because if we're thinking about the points where we are in the show, it's like everybody we've been following is either dead, grandparents deceased, like their life is wrapped up. Like we're into the new, like a leader, that one boy Will, they keep trying to show us. You know what I mean? Like we're
um.
into the youth, but also not really because there aren't that many youth we follow. So it's really giving this show is coming
Well,
to
I think Alex will have a role next season. I
yes,
wouldn't be surprised if Aleda's children have roles next season.
that would be. You know what I was thinking? I was just thinking about how the only reason Ed was able to be that honest and that vulnerable with Kelly because is because he knows how much she understands him because she's there. She's in space.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, if she was one of his children where she was just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about the space program, da 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 da, never ever would that happen. And I feel like it's kind of in their DNA at this point, kids of the space program, like they end up
Yeah.
some way attached to it, even if not directly, i.e., with Shane, then his brother as a terrorist, some way involved.
Oh, with Danny
Hmm.
and Jimmy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like if you're saying a world in which um both Danielle and Ed die this next week in the finale, it
Yeah.
means we have a season 5. Again, I don't know if they put Margot in 80-year-old woman makeup, man. Because
Yeah,
Margot is
don't see
basically
them doing
Ed's age.
that. She's dead. She's done, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people we've been following are in their retirements. Like it's their dead years. Like another 10 years is giving grave. So it's like
So do you put Margot in the death pool as well?
I feel like if she dies, I'll say let me specify my death pool to by the end of the episode and in between season. Margot might die in between seasons. I don't think she'd die by the end of this episode, though. Like the next episode. I don't think so.
That would be so weird though to kill Margot in between seasons.
Or they might put her in a black site for the rest of her life. Like I just don't like what could lead to her death right now. They've already killed Sergey. Like what's she gonna do?
Well, if she tries to basically attack Irina for Sergei's
Yeah,
death.
but like how is she going to attack Irina? What's she going to say? They already know she's a US agent, she's a defector, there's no secrets she has to expose. She don't know about the Mars capture program. She's not helping. Like the only thing she can really do is help double down and help Dev. But she don't even know what
Well,
Dev is doing.
I mean, she's the one responsible for getting Sergei out.
That's true. So if she finds
And if
out
she
Sergey
was
is
if she was
there,
actually talking to him behind their back this past month, that was also another
which
thing.
is
I
like
don't
she was
know.
saying, they have their eyes on her always. Why would she think they were not aware?
I don't think everyone. I can't imagine we watch a finale where 4 people die. That would be even by 4 mankind standards. That would be a lot.
That'll be high. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
that
feel
would
like
be a
we're at
lot.
a point in the show where it could happen.
I think people, yeah, but I also think people have different endings. I think you're like black side. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Go to a black side, but I think it's possible people have different
Yeah, it
endings.
might be something, but we're not coming back with a lot of these characters next year, that's for sure. Like Ed,
Yeah,
ain't no way
yeah,
if Ed comes back in a home, just ain't no way. What's we don't even need to see that. Like, why are you showing us this? Why?
yeah. Um.
So
Also, again, that still hasn't renewed. I don't know if like next season it's going to be the final
exactly, like
season or
we don't even
something.
know if this is the last season. Like it's really giving wrap up.
Yeah, but it's weird. 'Cause I know that I only if Apple wants to end it because I know they wanted to go
Exactly.
beyond the present day. Because obviously next season, if it came out in let's say 2025, will be set in 2023, and then the
Exactly.
potential season 6 will be set in 2033. That'll be the first time they've actually gone into the future.
And at
Um,
that point, they would have a Mars colony established. Like who knows where they might go next? goddamn other
Mm.
galaxies. But that's the thing. They can take this show as far as they want, or stop it wherever they want. Quite
It
frankly,
does, yeah. I don't think I'll be surprised if the creators themselves want to stop before getting to at least the current timeline.
me too, and especially establish before. I mean, and this is also assuming that the Mars, this theft, let's call it what it is, goes well, which is
Hmm.
where I'm putting my eggs in. Like I'm hoping they steal the asteroid because if they don't steal the asteroid for me, it kind of signals the end of the show because it's like that's the end of the space program. Like quite frankly, like they
Yeah,
just didn't proceed past the moon.
and like I mentioned, this show has always been an optimistic show. Not in terms of his
Exactly.
body count, people have always died, but it's always
Oh
been
baby.
optimistic in his
Let's
like,
talk about the people we started this show with, man. They have thinned us down.
yeah.
Like we're juggling 30, 20 names in season one and season two. Like you need to know everybody.
I think we
You
have
have
three people from like
okay.
season one, excluding Aleda. We have Margot, Ed, and Danielle. That's it.
Yep. Period.
I don't think there's anyone else.
Everybody else they gone.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like there's a lot to do in this finale. They have to wrap up this whole Margot Sergey thing. They basically have to wrap up the
Absolutely.
heist.
Yep.
Did they say 10 years? I can't remember, but in Leningrad, did they say that it will be
I
ten
think it
years?
was 10 years that it was looking like if the asteroid ends up going to Mars. But again, I don't think Dev I mean, yeah, that's a timeline, but I think knowing who Dev is and how he is, he probably has a way to try and speed that up.
Yeah. Hmm.
Although I don't know if that's his focus as well. This man just trying to live in Mars. Like I don't know why he's trying to live on Mars. We have not established that he's not over the people of Earth. So I don't. I really don't know what his motive here is. Quite frankly.
Well, he doesn't. I don't think he doesn't necessarily like people. He's never liked.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
how
that.
he was
True.
living in his
That is
beach.
that is his motive. He went to go say bye to his mama in church and said goodbye to
Yeah,
the rest of y'all
and it's very billionaire of him to want to go and live on Mars.
on
So it,
Mars. Yeah,
it
he's like,
tracks.
I'm over y'all. Just
Um.
sticking with my Gucci and Prada. Good to go live on the red earth.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm like you said. This was an exciting episode. Because to see how it wraps up.
Me
I feel like
too.
next episode is gonna be all action. Just yeah.
This back to back fucking. Because they fucked. So
Oh
fucked.
wow. Yeah. That's okay. That should be fun. That should be a fun
I'm
final
excited for
episode.
it. I literally can't
Yeah.
wait to watch it.
I hope you guys come back to listen to us talk about the finale.
Yes, you don't want to miss
Um,
it. You don't want to
I
miss
think we're
it.
kind of like when we, at least I'm personally not. I think I'm not saying as much because a lot of it is just speculation, and my brain is just thinking of all the possibilities. But I think by after
So
the
many
finale, we'll have
possibilities.
everything in front of us, and it's easier
Yeah.
to
And we can really
kind of
just
like,
come back and be like, whoa.
yeah, it's like we were completely wrong, and
Literally.
everybody's alive.
Which honestly, I wouldn't mind them surprising me. Like honestly, with the way they write for all mankind, like there's certain things I can't even what's the word? There's certain themes I can't subscribe to for all mankind. Like, for example, the dead man speech. Like a man could give their dead man speech and still live, but they will still die later, just not when you expect, on for all mankind. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
keen to see how they've handled this final episode. And I need Apple to promo more. Like God, I don't know how I have to beg at Apple HQ. If you need somebody to run, like we were just talking about this. I ain't no social media intern, but baby, I can go online. I can talk. You need me to talk, I will talk. I will tell the
yeah.
people you
We're
need
trying
a
to do our
billboard.
own part, but
You know
yeah,
what I'm
you need
saying? Like,
to,
get
yeah.
the word out there, Apple,
Um,
please. I pay every day for my Apple One. I hope it's going towards the show, please.
so just quickly, the threads that we have um
Yes.
to get resolved for the finale. We obviously have Sergey just died, so the fuck.
Depressing. I gasped,
Um,
genuinely.
we have obviously the asteroid heist. We have the fact that Miles is being crystal quote interviewed by CIA and KGB. Speaking of Miles, we
Unfortunate.
have Lee's wife's smuggle.
Which he was about to lie about again.
Yeah, so I guess I think those are the kind of the main threads we have,
Yeah.
and then we'll find out what the resolution is next
And then what
next
happens
week.
with the capture. Like I again, you know where we stand. We want them to win because we want the Mars program to continue.
I don't know if I
And
want them to win.
oh, sorry for speaking on your behalf. I thought we was on the same page.
You, I actually don't think I'm not invested in either camp. I just want to see what happens.
Just to see how it turns out.
Yeah, like I'm not. Well, I know what the show wants us to want because again, this is a show about space
In
exploration and all
space,
of that.
yeah. The
But I don't really think
propaganda
I'm
needs us.
like I'm not. If it didn't work out, I'm like, oh, that's so annoying. I hate it here. No, I was like, okay, as long as it's good drama, I just want to see good drama. I want to. We haven't
Honestly,
really got space
fair
stuff
enough.
this season. We haven't got like
Yeah.
space, like we haven't
Yeah,
got that.
yeah,
Like
because we were already in space. I think a lot because a lot of the season was actually focused on Mars and building that.
yeah,
So the only technical thing we really got is when they've tried to capture the asteroid and then now trying to steal the
yeah.
asteroid. But even at
Because
that,
last
they didn't
season
go
we got
into.
no. Because
Oh,
last
go
season we
ahead.
got the race. Remember, I
Hmm.
think when Daniel's team does the whole ship thing and they play we got that. We got the problem at the Soviet Union spacecraft that they have to save them, and obviously in the finale we got the whole Kelly thing. So we got like space.
We
We
got a
haven't really got
lot.
space stuff this season. We
Yeah,
obviously have
yeah.
the original thing in the episode with the
Which I think is
mine
definitely
where
intentional because if you carry out the theme of them worrying about what's going to happen with what's going on in Mars and the space program this season, it makes sense that like we can literally see the slowdown in
hmm
space talk, space exploration,
yeah.
space movement. So
And
it's
obviously, it
definitely very
happens because of
realistic.
what happens in the first episode when Kuz
Exactly.
dies, and you're like, oh, okay, we might need to slow down.
Love for mankind, child. They love to blow a nigga up.
Just people just be dying. People just be
Yo.
dying.
Oh my god.
I can't remember. I think I was watching season two. And I was like, oh wait, this show actually people just die on this show, man. It's
Killing
actually a very
them. Like
bloody show.
I said, the moon. Mars has even been calm. What they experienced with that moon,
The moon
ah,
was the moon was a
that
lot.
was too much of a sacrifice. The
The moon
sacrifices
was
were
a
what?
lot.
They massacre, massacre, massacre. I remember that one episode where they went to go watch they were watching the ship. Back then when they used to show us, because they live close to the base, so they could see all the rockets take off. They go watch it, and this one blew up.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Oh, the one on Earth.
yeah, I was just like, child,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to
I remember that was shocking.
just. When last have we had a
Um.
rocket ship blow up?
Well, thank God.
Thank God for progress.
Thank God for progress. All right, okay, that's a good place to end it. We'll be back next week talking about the finale of All
Yes,
Mankind,
sir.
78
Viva
minutes.
Brazil.
Yes, shout out Brazil. Okay, Angel, thank you very much. You'll be back one more time to talk about the finale. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for everyone watching on YouTube. Please share with your friends that watch for All Mankind. And yeah, join us next week when
Yeah, please join us.
yeah
Watch
we'll be
while you
joined by
work.
Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.